Why isn't douchebaggery a crime? Oh, how will the story end? Didn't we go through almost this exact same thing 6 years ago? For April 10th, 2015, from the stylish high-tech underground studios of Ribbit Media in cooler than I'd like, but still not bad, Cranston, Rhode Island, this is NewsUndies. For April 10th, 2015, this is NewsUndies, all the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. Accused Boston Marathon bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev has been convicted on 30 counts consisting mostly of variations on possession and use of a firearm during and in relation to a crime of violence resulting in death, aiding, and abetting. Surprisingly enough, the charges did not include being or behaving like a complete douchebag, conspiracy to commit deep asshattery, being or behaving like a gullible tool, believing or feigning belief in ridiculous nonsense in the commission of a stupid, pointless act that injures or kills others. Microsoft's Cyber Crime Center has developed a way to literally listen to botnet activity on the internet. Why Microsoft chose to do this rather than fix the vulnerabilities in their Swiss cheese operating system is to prevent the infections in the first place, is beyond me. Pat Robertson, that paragon of unmitigated sensibility, has declared that gay customers to bakeries wanting cakes for their weddings will eventually make the bakery people, and ultimately everyone, conform to the wishes of the gays! To the point where you're going to have to say that you like anal sex and oral sex and bestiality, eventually leading to people marrying dogs. Isn't there anyone at the 700 Club with enough sense to realize that Pat Robertson is insane? You know, maybe push him down an open elevator shaft. As is the case in the Philippines around this time of year, every year, Filipino Catholics reenact the possibly fictional but nevertheless unremarkable crucifixion of one Yeshua, an itinerant radical commie rabbi reportedly of Nazareth, who may also have been fictional. And the reenactment went all the way to driving nails through the hands and feet of 5 men and standing them up on crosses. All this to feel closer to this Yeshua character, who very well may have been the figment of some ancient loon's imagination. Really, you can't make this stuff up. Or can you? Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. Let's rock. For the 4th, Kenneth Mars, dead. For the 5th, Albert Broccoli, dead. And for the 6th, Phil Leeds, dead. For the 7th, John Oates. For the 8th, Biz Marquis. For the 9th, Tom Lehrer. And for the 10th, Steven Seagal. That's celebrity birthdays. I'm Paul Torville, and I'm done! Don't pick that nose. Still to come, what wasn't the weather where you aren't? Who put that car in the creek? And land war in Asia for the win! Hi, I'm Paul Torville. You may know me from such popular web shows as Bible Answers. I've been doing NewsUndies since 2009, and I've enjoyed doing the show all this time. When I started the show back up for 2015, I got a comment from a subscriber. He said that he enjoyed the show and would watch it together with his father. I was touched. But then he said something that caught me off guard. He said, "I can't understand why your show isn't more popular." Well, I gave it some thought. I'm pretty sure it's not because the show sucks. I've been getting fairly consistent positive feedback from the viewers since the show's return from hiatus. For those of you who regularly watch the show, I have a request. Please spread the word. I'll keep making high-quality, entertaining NewsUndies episodes. If you have some time, anything you can do to grow awareness and interest in NewsUndies would be appreciated. Thank you. Jesus. Former evangelical pastor, sometime bass player, and perennial political laughingstock Mike Huckabee has now come out to tell us that the militant gay community is responsible for the backlash that Indiana has received over the stupid Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Pretend for a moment that Hitler went after the Quakers instead of the Jews. Huckabee's remark is like Hitler blaming the militant Quakers for the defeat in Stalingrad. Everybody knows that you don't get involved in a land war in Asia, and everybody knows that it's monumentally wrong, and I mean like a monument, an artifact which is so imposing and out of place that it necessarily draws your attention to it to remind you of something. It is monumentally wrong to arbitrarily, and by arbitrarily I mean without any obvious or discernible cause or reason, it is monumentally wrong to arbitrarily enact a law which extends the liberties of one class of people at the expense of the liberties of another class of people. The Indiana law was monumentally wrong in that very sense. The governor and legislators of Indiana had to know what they were doing. If they didn't, they all need to be fired and replaced with toddlers who at least know how to say no, even in the face of apparently insurmountable pressure. I have trouble believing that SB 101 was actually penned by a legislator. My suspicion is that it was written by some flunky at a conservative Christian think tank, handed to a state legislator, and put up as his own. And that's when the no should have started. But yeah, Stalingrad is so pretty in the winter. News reports are saying that Yemen is near collapse as a nation-state. Is this something the U.S. and other Western nations should be concerned about? Or do anything about? Here are Pig and Sheep with their thoughts.
Absolutely. War is the greatest engine of our economy, and a drawn-out low-level war in a country full of brown people half a world away is just the boost our country needs. With any luck, President Obama will realize that, send over peacekeeping forces, and take the blame for starting another decade-long fiscal and foreign policy sinkhole.
Wait, did he just... I think that might be the most insightful and revealing thing I've ever heard him say. For a long time, I've advocated getting out of the Middle East. Completely. No foreign aid, no military aid, no commerce, nothing. There are only two alternatives. First, a drawn-out campaign of half measures which achieves nothing meaningful or lasting and breeds nothing but contempt for the interlopers among all the indigenous parties. And second, total war, the kind we waged against Japan. Merciless, overwhelming, devastating, a continuous rain of indiscriminate death from the sky, followed by nation building. To my mind, the option that lets these people work out their own affairs and puts the civilized world not in harm's way is the one that's best. People in the Middle East are going to die at each other's hands, whether we're involved or not. And the United States has a horrible track record for picking the right folks to team up with over there. I doubt that this is the time or situation to take another stab at it.
That's what Pig and Sheep think. What are your thoughts? Email them to ovcomments@newsundies.com. And now for the week ending April 10th, here's Paul Torville with your exclusive Pastcast weather. Here's your exclusive Pastcast weather. The California coast saw showers, then sunny and cool. The New England area, back here, saw showers, then sunny and warm. And the Mid-Atlantic region, right there, saw sunny and cool conditions, then sunny to the north and rain to the south. I'm Paul Torville. That's your exclusive Pastcast weather. Keep your eyes on the prize. Up next, what's a 77 Dodge Coronet going for these days? You thought the Hare Krishnas at the airport were bad, and delayed gratification in the Big Easy.
For your upcoming wedding, bat mitzvah, or funeral, trust the professionals at Blas Florist to create the perfect mood-appropriate arrangement. Your special occasion will be so much more special with a Blas Florist arrangement. Blas will help your memories be that much more memorable. Call or click today to order your unique and not at all sexually suggestive arrangement from Blas Florist. Blas, the florist you shouldn't fear.
This accomplished film, television, and voice actor, artist, acting coach, college professor, singer-songwriter, and guitarist was a nephew of one of the Everly brothers. He started acting professionally in 1950 and starred opposite such film stars as Henry Fonda and Jimmy Stewart. He appeared in a pile of successful TV series, and then in 1979, he landed the role for which he would become most famous. After the 1985 cancellation of the comedy series that made his face instantly recognizable to millions of Americans, he went back to supporting roles in television dramas, worked as an acting coach, made a name for himself as a painter, and taught acting and dramatic technique in Los Angeles and Mississippi. This actor died from complications of pneumonia at age 88. Look who's dead! It's Roscoe P. Coltrane, actor James Best. And now, here's Moose Weintraub with a Sports Half Minute.
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute. It's a whole half minute of sports. 30 seconds of sports. Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
Moose, get out there! Moose! Moose! No! I'm not gonna... Moose, get out there! I'm not gonna do it! Moose!
Take that!
Ah!
Moose Weintraub Sports Half Minute.
Thanks, Moose. Always a great report from Moose. Celebrity Scientologist John Travolta has spoken out about the HBO documentary Going Clear, and he doesn't have a lot of nice things to say about it. He referred to the filmmakers as people who were disgruntled by their experiences. Since Scientology has a reputation for fleecing its adherents out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in exchange for dubious pseudoscientific platitudinous drivel, yeah, I can imagine someone coming away from the experience a little disgruntled. And yes, all religions have reputations more or less like that, but Scientology doesn't have the centuries of tradition to back it up, and the opaque mists of time to obscure the real past. Scientology was made up in the 1950s, pulled directly from between the butt cheeks of one L. Ron Hubbard, a mediocre at best sci-fi and fantasy writer. The best Scientology can hope for is that the skilled distressing artists at the Fender Custom Shop give the shiny new religion a look and feel of something ancient, established, and possibly true. Do they pull it off? Spoiler alert! No. No, they don't. And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? Back in 2008, as you may recall, Bristol Palin, teenage daughter of then GOP vice presidential candidate and abstinence-only advocate Sarah Palin, turned up pregnant. Oh, the hand-waving and misdirection! Well, just in time for the 2016 presidential election season and a run for the U.S. Senate seat currently held by Democrat Mary Landrieu, Republican Louisiana State Senator and abstinence-only advocate Bill Cassidy has released a statement indicating that his teenage daughter is pregnant. Louisiana has the 6th highest teen pregnancy rate in the nation, despite the strong presence of abstinence-only messages in the state's sex education curricula. Fortunately, Obamacare, which Cassidy continues to oppose, will be there to help with the birthing and whatnot, but not with the contraception. Oh, no! Jackass. Well, that's all for this edition of NewsUndies. If you see news that shouldn't be news, you can submit your story tips online at newsundies.com or on Twitter with the hashtag NUSTip. NewsUndies is a weekly show. We'll be back on Friday, April 17th with fresh undies. If you like this video, please like this video. If you like the show, please spread the word. Got a question, comment, or suggestion? Leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, circle us on Google+, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, ignore us on MySpace, tell your friends, and buy NewsUndies Kitsch at newsundies.com. Thanks for watching. For all of us here at NewsUndies, until next time, I'm Paul Torville. After that, I might be shopping for an e-meter. No. I wouldn't bet my last shilling on that one if I were you.
I just want to tell you good luck. We're all counting on you.